knock came at midnight, a weak sound carried on the desert wind. When Elias Crow opened his cabin door, he expected trouble, but not this. A woman stood there, barefoot, bleeding, her face a mask of terror under the pale moonlight. She whispered the impossible. "The desert tried to kill me." And somehow, he believed her. The way her eyes darted towards the dark dunes wasn't the fear of men or beasts. It was fear of something vast, patient, and silent. He pulled her inside, bolted the door, and wrapped her in a blanket by the fire. Her name was Lila Mercer. She'd been with a supply caravan when a sandstorm swallowed them. "But this storm," she said, "it wasn't natural. It was a living, breathing thing that hunted her, guiding her deeper into the empty places where sound died and the ground felt hollow." As she spoke, the world outside went unnaturally quiet. No insects, no coyotes, just a heavy, pressing stillness against the cabin walls. The desert itself was listening. That's when Elias noticed it. Her footprints in the sand stopped a full 10 yards from his porch, as if unseen hands had placed her right there. She warned him they would return for her when the moon was at its highest. Elias had survived outlaws, starvation, and war, but the calm certainty in her voice chilled him to the bone. He loaded his rifle, lit every lantern he owned, and waited with her as the clock ticked towards the hour the world forgets. Midnight struck. The desert answered. A deep vibration trembled up through the floorboards. Outside, the sand began to move in slow, unnatural circles, like water swirling down a drain. Within those shifting rings, tall shapes began to rise, not solid, not smoke, but outlines that bent the moonlight around them. Lila fell to her knees, sobbing that they had found her. Elias fired into the darkness. The gunshot vanished without an echo, swallowed by the silence. The shapes glided closer, the air growing heavy, the fire dimming as if starved of oxygen. Then came the voices, not in his ears, but inside his mind. They were a soft layered, showing him flashes of lost travelers, buried towns, bones turned to dust. The voices revealed a truth. Lila carried something that belonged to the desert, something she'd taken during her escape. She screamed that she'd stolen nothing. All she remembered was falling through a crack in the dunes into a place without shadows, where something ancient touched her mind before she clawed her way back to the surface. Elias realized she hadn't just survived. She'd been marked, changed by something older than the frontier itself. The cabin door bowed inward, sand pouring through the cracks. The storm had returned, but without wind. If the desert wanted what she carried, Elias knew it would take him too. He grabbed her hand and they ran for the back door just as the front wall collapsed in a roar of timber and sand. The unseen shapes surged through the wreckage, shadows made of cold pressure. They fled toward the canyons, the ground heaving beneath them, trying to pull them back. The desert is waking. Lila's scream at the storm was just the breath before the scream. As they reached the canyon edge, the earth split open in a silent crack of blinding light. Towering, smooth silhouettes rose from within walking pieces of night itself. Elias pushed Lila toward a rocky ledge and stood between her and the light, his rifle useless but his will unbroken. The voices offered one final choice: release for what she carried. At last, Lila understood. The only way to end the hunt was to give back the knowledge she'd been given. With tears cutting clean lines through the dust on her face, she whispered goodbye and stepped into the light. The glow swallowed her, the storm collapsed, the chasm sealed, and the unseen vanished as if they'd never been. Dawn broke over untouched sand. The cabin was gone. No trace of Lila remained, except for the memory burned into Liza's soul. The nearby town said no caravan was ever missing, that she never existed. But Elias knew the truth. Sometimes, the desert doesn't kill with teeth or thirst. It hunts with secrets. And sometimes, believing one of those secrets is the most dangerous choice of all. Thanks for watching.